Halo guys, kembali lagi di channel BadRush. Jadi hari ini mari kita lanjutkan kembali perjalanan kita di GenshinImpact. So, hari ini sesuai janji gua kemarin, jadi hari ini kita akan langsung lanjut lagi Archon Quest ya, bukan lanjut sih. Ya, lanjut sih. Part 3 dari Archon Quest di Sumeru ya. Jadi, yuk tanpa banyak bacot lagi langsung aja kita mulai Archon Quest. Chapter 3 Act 3. Kita ke Catherine. Oke, akhirnya kita bisa ke Catherine ini. Udah berapa hari gua nggak ke Catherine yang di Sumeru, gara-gara gua skip, takutnya malah ada scene guys. Juga ngobrolnya ke Catherine kota lain. Yuk lanjut lagi, mudah-mudahan nggak selama yang chapter kemarin ya, chapter 1 dan chapter 2 ya. Chapter 1, chapter 2 bukan. Chapter Act 1 atau Act 2. Kemudian nggak selama itu ya. Tapi kok masih chapter 3 ya guys ya? Kan ini udah kota keempat, kenapa masih chapter 3? Apa kemarin emang Act enggak deh, kemarin Act 1 Act 2. Tapi ya udahlah. Yang penting lanjut sekarang Archon Quest di kota keempat di GenshinImpact so far di Sumeru. Act 3 ya, dan mudah-mudahan nggak selama Act 1 sama Act 2. Mudah-mudahan Act 3 ini ya sejam lah atau 1,5. Oke, langsung saja. Oke, scene. Oh enggak,
Ad Astra Avisask. We meet again, you two.
Hi, Catherine. Do you have any commissions for us today?
Commissions, huh? Let me think. Oh, how about this? Please attend the Academia's Academic Symposium this afternoon and recite a love poem on stage.
Okay.
Wait, say what now?
And if possible, please also use your camera to capture the reaction of the audience upon finishing the poem.
Huh? What kind of commission is that?
Commission apa itu?
It appears that you're not interested in this commission. In that case, please go to Port Ormos and convince the Eremites there to spend some time volunteering at the local orphanage.
Hey, that's not any better.
I'm sure the mercenaries will have some interesting reactions as well.
Hyman's gotta ask. Just who exactly has been submitting these commissions to the adventurers?
Siapa yang nge-request kayak gitu?
The commissioner? Well, actually, I just wanted to see the two of you in action.
Kamu bukan Catherine kan?
Is it
Oh.
so obvious? I was hoping you would actually take one of those commissions. That kind of chance to observe humans doesn't come by often.
Bukan Catherine
So
anjir.
it's Nahida. Hyman just knew Catherine wouldn't crack those kinds of jokes.
Soalnya commissionnya aneh-aneh, suruh mau foto lah, apalah. Padahal nggak apa-apa.
She said, Ad Astra Avisask.
Oh, dia masuk pas
So it's been
ngomong
you
itu.
this whole time? Are you done resting up, Nahida? Yes. I've been sleeping ever since we parted ways. And I even had a really, really long dream.
Apa yang
It
kamu
was another
mimpikan?
dream about the Sub-Zerus festival, except it was a happy one. In my dream, I was sitting in the middle of a flower terrace, and everyone in Sumeru City was holding hands as they danced in circles around me. They danced round and round, and everyone looked really happy. I also got to sit on a gigantic flower carriage. Fairies, the Night of Flowers, raised me really, really high above the ground, and I was throwing an endless amount of Yalda candies at the children. You know, Nahida, maybe your dream is how the Sub-Zerus festival really should be. It's meant to be a joyous time where everyone gets together to celebrate your birthday.
Yeah.
Huh? Wasn't I describing a really happy dream? Why are you both looking at me like that? Wait, could this be an example of the emotion known as pity? No, we aren't pitying you.
Gue nggak tahu ini akan sampai Act berapa guys. Kayaknya sampai Act 4 paling ya, nggak tahu sih. Tapi kalau cuma sampai Act 4, ntar lama lagi dong. Ya kita lihat aja deh. Kita jalani aja dulu.
Yes, I paid her a visit right after I woke up. She was resting at the time. Her condition
Tapi
is
kalau dari
stabilized.
rumor-rumornya kayaknya nggak ada
However,
yang bilang
since
kalau ini bakal
LSR is a
apa-apa sih.
manifestation of the
Kayaknya ya,
withering on the human
gua
body,
tidak
we
mendengar
can only cure it by finding a way to
spoiler-spoiler
take care of Irminsul's own withering. But for the moment, our top focus should still be figuring out what the sages are up to and what they're planning.
Oke.
Right. Who knows what'll happen if they manage to pull off another scheme like the Samsara of the Sub-Zero's festival?
So our first priority should be investigating and putting a stop to the sages' activities. As for how we should pull that off, let's discuss it somewhere else. There are too many adventurers around here.
Oh, good point. Sorry, adventurers. We're gonna be borrowing Catherine for a little while.
Kita pinjem. Oke. Act 3 started. Jadi Catherine nggak jaga, kita bawa.
Let's continue our chat here.
Okay, so do you have any ideas on how we can investigate the
Okay.
sages, Nahida?
Kita akan
Actually, I've
menginvestigasi
already done a
akademia
little
berarti
bit
ya.
of work on that. But for now, I want to hear your thoughts. We're in the dark as of now.
Kita akan
Since we
culik
still don't
orang-orang.
know anything about their goals, any rash move could tip them off and lead to terrible consequences. After all, every person in Sumeru City is one of their hostages.
Iya, kita semua ini bro, apa namanya?
I've already tried that, but all the key
Orang-orang
members of the
di
Academia,
Sumeru
even the core 30
Sandra semua
cards,
aja.
intentionally avoiding their Akasha terminals. It seems that from the very beginning, they've been guarding against info leaks from the Akasha. Of course, it could also be because they're wary of me.
Have you already caught the sages' attention?
I'm guessing not yet, but distrusting me would make perfect sense if they've ever paid attention to the urban legends about me. In any case, I probably can't take over their minds directly. No way, that's too risky.
You mean it'd be too easy to get caught?
No, it's not that. We shouldn't involve innocent students in this. A single mistake could completely ruin their lives. Doing that would be ignoring the safety of my people for my own selfish goals. How is that any different from what the sages are doing?
That's a good point. Spoken like the god of Sumeru. Are we really out of ideas?
Kita nggak punya ide
Nahida,
lagi.
you're super smart, so you already have something
Nyulek
in
nggak
mind,
boleh.
right? Don't keep us in
Mengendap-endap
suspense.
masuk
Spill
nggak
the beans already.
boleh.
According to a popular theory from the Vahumana Darshan of the Academia, rejecting impractical motions at the beginning of a planning session will give more weight to the actual proposal.
Okay, but aren't you the god of wisdom? You don't have to use that kind of gimmick to make us take your ideas seriously.
Well, I've been thinking that if I can't directly possess the leaders, and if I can't get ordinary people involved, then I should find someone who's already involved, but hasn't decided to side with the sages.
You're saying we should recruit a spy?
Oke.
That does sound like it could work.
Al-Haytham
Before
mungkin.
coming back, we
Ah,
met
iya
someone
kan.
named Al-Haytham. He seems like he acts alone, and he likes doing stuff behind the Academia's back. They probably aren't in cahoots.
Actually, I already have someone in mind. Do you still remember that female scholar named Sataria?
Sataria. Paimon remembers now. Isn't she the one who's always trailing behind the Grand Sage of the Academia? We ran into her basically every time the Sub-Zero's festival repeated itself. You could even say we're old enemies by now. Paimon still remembers the smug and mean way she always spoke to Nilu.
I've
Si
always
cewek
liked
yang
observing all
ngikutin
kinds of
Grand
people,
Sage itu ya.
and Sataria has always stood out from the crowd. She was born in the desert and was hailed as their greatest genius. Her academic gifts allowed her special admission into the Academia, and also gave her the opportunity to serve as the sage's assistant.
Oh, Paimon didn't know she was from the desert. She must be pretty special then. Paimon feels like most of the desert dwellers around the city are working as mercenaries.
The name Sataria means star. When she
Setaria
lived in the
Star.
desert, she shone like the brightest star in the night sky. Later on, she was chosen by the sun. The star was given a place in the daytime sky to complement the sun's dazzling light. Soon after, the star witnessed the sun scorching the earth, which brought forth many disasters. The star began to waver. Instead of staying beside such a sun, wouldn't it be better to return and light up part of the night sky? But in the end, she couldn't give up the radiance of daytime. To cope with her shame, the star buried her guilt and closed her eyes.
From the sound of it, Sataria's just hung up on the research opportunities here. But she doesn't really support the academia. She still feels guilty about not doing more for the desert, right? She's just running away from her problems.
Indeed. When they are presented with complex moral issues, many people will simply plug their ears and go with the flow until the problem can't be fixed anymore. She's suppressing a lot of guilt, but before she realized it, she had already become the sage's accomplice. She can't deny her part in their schemes anymore. Right. We must somehow make her face her problems again. That way, not only can we get useful intel from her, but she can also use it as an opportunity to redeem herself. From my past observations, Sataria will take a day off from the academia every 10 days to do some shopping in the city. Tomorrow afternoon just happens to be a shopping day for her. That'll be our chance. To prepare, let's go check out some of her favorite spots and have a quick chat with a few of the vendors there.
Kita akan apa nih? Akan kita rasuki kah? Oke. Gather information sama Setaria ini ya.
This should be Sataria's favorite fortune-telling spot.
So should we ask the fortune teller about Sataria?
No, I already have enough information on Sataria. The most important thing now is for you to pay attention to the vendor's talking style and key characteristics.
Talking style and key characteristics?
My poor lost lambs. Have you become troubled over your fates? The divine
kecil pula.
voice of wisdom often
Fortune
echoes
tellernya
between
peramal.
mine ears. If thou be blessed today by the gods, I may be able to show you the way.
Huh? Really? Nahida, you've been whispering things to her?
Shh! My friend here has some doubts regarding her future. Can we get a fortune reading for her?
Of course, of course. In that case... It would seem that
Harut
Harut
and
and
Marut.
Marut are quite wary of you. Perhaps, at some time in the past, you have somehow offended the gods.
Only mocking the god of animals, questioning the lord of Geo's financial
Mocking the
savviness,
god of
and brawling
animal.
with the god of Electro. Do those count?
Oh, nothing. Go on,
Mengejek.
pick an aspect for her to divine.
Defend my
Health
prospect.
prospects, no problem at all.
Anjir, mengejek
The
dewa
gods have
Anemo,
spoken.
terus
The
menanyakan
truth shall be revealed.
apa finansialnya
Your life
dewa
shall continue on
apa
for
dewa Geo sama bertarung dengan
Many-
Dewi Elektro anjir.
many tens of thousands of years. Impossible.
Kita akan hidup
Marut,
sama ribuan
Marut,
tahun lagi
Did you
anjir.
two spoil my divination? I've never read a fortune so absurd.
Dikira aneh kita.
Actually, Paimon thinks this is probably the most accurate fortune telling you've ever done.
I admit that the orientation of today's celestial matrix is suboptimal. As such, there will be no charge.
Is that so? Well, that can't be helped.
If you were to bring some food offerings for Harut and Marut on your next visit, perhaps they could help you reverse the wheels of fate.
Waduh, bisa ngubah takdir. Oke. Gather information lagi. Hakim.
Is this another one of Sataria's favorite stalls?
Yep, it belongs to a king. His father helped Sataria a lot when she first moved to Samari City, so she still comes by whenever she has time. When I start talking with him, listen carefully to the details of our conversation.
Oke.
Ah, dear customers. Would you
Jualan
like to look at
kucing
some
aja.
pottery?
We caught wind of your great craftsmanship, so we specifically came to take a look.
Oh, I recognize you. Aren't you Miss Catherine from the Adventurers Guild? Sounds like I'm in for some big business.
Speaking of, where did you learn this trade?
I suppose you could say it all started with my dad. He's a mason by trade, but I picked up an interest in clay while apprenticing for him. After that, I began making pottery by myself in secret. And I simply changed trades when my works turned out well. Although it's a pity that I'm no longer making much use of the knowledge provided to me by the Akasha.
That's nice. You're making a living doing something you love.
So is your father still working as a mason?
Oh no,
Mason
not
puppet.
anymore. A few years back, he fell from a roof and broke his leg. Since he had already saved enough mora over all these years, he's just enjoying the retired life in Port Ormos nowadays.
I see.
Sudah pensiun
We
bapaknya.
wish him peace and happiness in his retirement. I'll have someone in charge of logistics at the guild come by another day for some goods. We'll leave you to it. Take care now.
No problem. Rest easy, all our goods are sure to meet your every need.
Oke. Mana lagi?
This should be our final stop. Sataria is always thinking of this restaurant when she's working at the academia. So she always comes by whenever she's out in the city.
Nahida, you've really thought of everything.
It's my duty to protect Sumeru's citizens after all.
Hi there. I feel like I've seen you down by the docks before.
Sorry, I don't quite remember.
If I recall, you were having a discussion with someone about shipbuilding at the time.
Oh, that's right. I've always been really interested in feats of marine engineering. After all, I grew up in Liyue Harbor
Oh,
and
yeah,
spent my
kalau
entire childhood staring at the
apa,
ships
besar
going in
di
and out of the
Liyue.
port. I came to Sumeru to study, but failed to make it into the academia due to my lack of talent. But I'm still discussing all kinds of problems with different
Oh,
scholars.
namanya Kishan
And I'm
kok ya.
continuing to study and perform research from the restaurant's basement. I'm sure I'll get to the academia after their next round of exams.
Oh, masih
What
mau.
an admirable spirit
masih mau
for
kuliah.
learning. Amazing.
Sure, but you'll find hardworking people wherever you go.
So this restaurant has a basement as well? Huh. First I've heard of it.
That's right. It's not usually open to patrons. Most of the time, employees use it for breaks or to hold private events.
I see. Yes, that makes sense. Well, good luck with your studies, Miss Chishan.
Kishan.
Thank you so much. As long as I can make it into the academia as an official student, I'll be happy.
Dari tahun kemarin dia gagal masuk akademia, guys. Masih mau berusaha.
Was that everybody?
Mm-hmm. 3 familiar faces should be enough for Sataria.
What's the point of all the information we've collected? Nahida, you still haven't told us how you're planning to make Sataria face her problems.
Sataria is already used to avoiding her problems, so we must find a way to break through her usual sensibilities. I remember that you mentioned that the Eremites in Port Ormos are all making a fuss about the upcoming resurrection of the Scarlet King. Although it's all just a boatload of nonsense, the fate of her homeland may turn out to be Sataria's soft spot.
Oh, Paimon gets it now. You want to take advantage of the guilt Sataria feels about her homeland. Although she knows she should return home to help the people of the desert, all she's done is conspire with the sages. So, how do we set that up?
Mau menjebak
The
Setaria.
Scarlet King is long gone, and Sataria is also too smart to fall for any simple tricks. If we simply engaged her under the guise of the Scarlet King's believers, she would definitely be wary of us, and we may not get anywhere. But if we were to borrow some of her close acquaintances to talk with her, her reaction would probably be very different.
So, you mean you're going to possess those people we just talked to?
Yep. Possess them through the Akasha. imply that they've already converted to the faith of the Scarlet King, and then convey our made-up will of the Scarlet King. As long as everything goes smoothly, we'll get through to Sataria for sure. She'll never guess that we had anything to do with it.
Ah, so that's how you're going to use all the info we collected on these people. It's so that you won't slip up and break form. Possessing them will only work if you can manage to pass off as them.
Exactly. So, best of luck with impersonating them.
Huh? Best of luck? What?
Tapi kita nggak
I
bisa,
don't know how to possess anyone.
nggak
That's
bisa
no problem
merasuki
at all.
orang.
I'll just share all their senses with you once I've possessed them. As long as you're also wearing an Akasha terminal,
kita bisa
the effect
merasuki
will
orang.
basically be as if you've possessed them yourself.
Huh. That is pretty convenient. But why does she have to do this? Can't you do it yourself?
Although I've been observing humans for a while, I've never been good at imitating them.
You're not wrong. It's always been painfully obvious whenever you try to pass as Catherine.
If it was at all possible, I would have preferred to leave these people alone. But seeing how things are now, I probably should just accept it and push on.
Yeah, don't beat yourself up over it. We're only doing this to help everyone, and we'll only be borrowing them for a little while anyway.
Alright, then let's give it a go tomorrow afternoon.
Kita akan menginap di sini, guys. Jam 12. Oke. Kayak akar pertama deh. Akar pas soalnya. Nah ini dia ya kan yang ikut Sage kemarin, guys. Yang kita di loop.
Oh, here she comes. Sataria's here. Let's quietly follow her. Once she starts talking to her acquaintances, we'll find a safe spot to begin possessing them. As for how we'll sway her to our side, I'll leave that to you. I trust you'll know what to say.
Oke.
I'm starting to feel kind of nervous. Okay, let's go. Looks like they've already started talking. Let's find a hiding spot and get started.
Anjir, mah mencurigakan cuk di sini loh. Anjir. Rasukan anjir.
That's right. You really can't force anything when it comes to love. And besides, everyone around me has a very different background and outlook. Are you still listening to me, Nabia?
Oh, of course I'm listening. You were talking about troubles with your love life, right? I heard everything you said.
Okay then. You just seemed a little distracted for a moment there. Strange. Your cats seem pretty worked up. Is something wrong? I always thought they were quiet, happy kitties. Oh, what are their names again?
Harut and Marut.
Ah, that's right. They are just little darlings, aren't they? Harut and Marut.
Kita jawab sebenar mungkin, guys.
So, which fortune do you want me to read for you today? You must have come for another echo of the divine voice of wisdom.
I'd like to get another reading on my
love
love prospects.
prospect.
But to be perfectly honest with you, I feel like I've been a real mess recently.
A mess?
Well, could you do a reading on how
Okay.
long it'll take me to finish my current project at work? I really just want to get it over with.
I hear you. No problem at all. The gods will reveal the truth.
Aduh.
The gods are asking, Sataria, why haven't you gone home?
Why
Suruh
haven't I
balik ke rumah
gone
anjir.
home? Do the gods really know everything I've been thinking about?
Sataria, why don't you just go home? It's a demand now instead of a question. Oh, the gods seem to be truly upset.
I'm sorry. I know I failed the gods. Please pass on my most sincere apologies and ask for their divine forgiveness. And if I may ask, Nabia, is there a specific god who's speaking to you right now?
What an inconsiderate and naive question. The god who is speaking to me is, of course, the wisest and mightiest of all.
The Scarlet
The
King.
Scarlet King.
The Scarlet King? No wonder he would make such a demand of me. Oh, wait a second. The Scarlet King passed away a long time ago. Even though news of the Scarlet King's resurrection has been spreading like wildfire, it's all just a misinformation campaign from the academia. How can the Scarlet King still exist in real life?
What insolence! I am the Scarlet King's most loyal believer. Do you wish to refute his voice of wisdom?
Oh, no. As a child of the desert, I am only reveling in his power upon learning that his divine glory has touched even this city. I will think very carefully about his demand of me. I'm sorry. I must go now.
Wait!
Ya, udah ditinggal. Hampir ketahuan, Ja.
Whoa! She just ran off in a hurry. She looked pretty upset too.
Well done.
Kayaknya
Sataria
sadar
didn't
deh
seem to
si
suspect anything
Sataria.
amiss. To have something she's been
Maksudnya
trying
tahu deh kalau
desperately to avoid
diikuti.
show up out of nowhere and berate her,
Nggak tahu juga sih.
that must have shaken her to the core.
Aw, Nahida, it seems like you understand human emotions really well after all.
All I know are some abstract Harvard-taught theories. And in any case, my time with you has shown a lot of them to be utterly useless. I'm still trying to make sense of everything. Anyway, enough of that. Let's hurry and catch up to Sataria.
Oke, kita susul ke tempat kedua.
He's out of Keem's now, right on cue. Let's get ready to possess him right away.
Wait for Nahida. Oke. Duh.
It's okay. I just got caught up in something. Oh, actually, didn't you ask me to help you look for work?
Oke.
What
Yang
kind
bawah
of work
berarti
were
ya.
you looking for again? Oh, right. Your old man's craft. How could I forget? Speaking of, how's he doing? Is he feeling any better? Oh, that's good to hear. I've been
Okay.
thinking a lot about him. If I
Nanyain
could get some
bapaknya
more
ya.
time off, I'd love to pay him a visit. Actually, while we're talking about him, is he still living in Port Ormos?
Yeah,
Masih
he's
dong.
been retired there for a while.
If you could find the time, please write him a letter. Please pass on that recently, faith in the Scarlet King has taken root in Port Ormos and has begun to spread across Sumeru. He has a quick temper and has always been a devout follower of the Danger Archon. I don't want him to get into a fight with those Scarlet King believers because of a difference in beliefs.
Oh? So, who are you siding with in all of this? The Academia or the Scarlet King? I'm so jealous of you. You were born a child of the desert, yet you chose to betray the Scarlet King, and now you spend all your time with those crooks from the Academia.
Akeem, you don't mean you've also become a believer of the Scarlet King?
What's so strange about becoming a believer of the wise Scarlet King? In fact, aren't you the strange one? The one who still can't pick a side?
Can't pick a side? Me?
Jadi ada pertarungan
I
ya,
had
maksudnya
no idea you'd be so good at this.
antara yang
You really
percaya
zeroed in on the issue and put it
aneh
right in
apa
front of her.
anehmu, Dendro
It
Archon
might
atau
feel a bit
King
overwhelming for
Scarlet.
Sataria. But once everything is over, I'll be sure to pay her a visit to her mind and explain everything. Anyway, let's keep going.
Oke, kita makin membuat Setaria ragu dan akan beralih ke
Come on! Sataria's already started talking with...
dan nyuruh pulang ke Jisoo untuk kita ikuti ya.
So, Shishan, have you noticed anything weird in the city lately? Like, as if someone was trying to preach to you about something?
Oh, right. Speaking of strange things, I celebrated the Sub-Zerus festival so many times that I lost count. That was really weird.
Wait, how could you be aware of that? That should be impossible. Nothing in the report indicated anything like that.
Dia
Are you
bingung kok
still
itu
failing
korup
to
ya.
realize that the
kalau
Academia's
ya.
lowly tricks could never deceive all of Sumeru's citizens?
Shishan, don't tell me that you've converted to the Scarlet King as well.
What an absurd question. You make it sound like I should be ashamed for becoming a believer of the Scarlet King. In reality, shouldn't you be the one who is ashamed? You, who worked side by side with the Academia and treated people as nothing more than experimental subjects.
Please,
Ketahuan.
please stop!
Iya. Oke.
Even now, Sataria's still trying to run from her problems.
She can no longer justify everything to herself.
Hey, she's trying to talk to the guards! What should we do?
This is the most important part of all. Quick, get ready.
Mercenary, you're a member of the Corps of 30, correct? Please help me pass a message to the Matcha right away. The situation in the city is getting out of control.
Please,
udah pada
try to
mulai
remain
sadar
calm,
anjir kalau
Tell me what's happening in the city.
Dia jadi
Heretics are infiltrating the city.
Yeah.
And they've already converted many residents to their side.
ya
Heretics?
kepikiran.
What kind of heresy are you talking about?
The Scarlet King! Many people I know have suddenly started believing in him, but he's long dead. It's impossible.
Miss Sataria, nothing is impossible.
You know my name?
The Scarlet King is immortal, and all who defy him will one day pay the price. You must face the truth, Sataria. You tread a treacherous path, and the longer you ignore it, the tighter the Academia's grasp on you will become, and the deeper you will be ensnared. Child of the Scarlet King, never forget that the desert that belongs to you lies elsewhere.
What's so strange about becoming a believer of the wise Scarlet King? In fact, aren't you the strange one? The one who still can't pick a side?
Mulai.
What an absurd question. You make it sound like I should be ashamed for becoming a believer of the Scarlet King.
Mulai stres
Sataria, why haven't you gone home?
It seems that no matter where I run, I only keep finding more believers of the Scarlet King. I have to say, this is a familiar feeling. I've also been running from my guilt this whole time. Guilt over my part in the Sage's plans, and from ignoring the letters from the children of my homeland. But no matter how much I may try to ignore or get rid of it, my guilt always comes back.
You won't necessarily lose your research opportunities by facing the truth. Besides, did you really want to conduct your research while carrying such heavy feelings of guilt?
How do you know me so well? Are you truly just a believer of the Scarlet King? Or are you the god himself?
That's not important. The important thing is to pass judgment on the Academia and its sages, and to correct their mistakes. If you could provide some assistance in this matter, perhaps it could serve as a form of atonement.
I've actually never believed in the gods, but I've always believed in serendipity. Your appearance must be a fated opportunity for me to get out of this wretched situation. Please tell me, what can I do for you?
How much do you know about the sage's current activities?
I was just one of the designers for the masked dream harvest scheme, which is what happened around the Sub-Zerus festival. But I know very little about the full scope of the overall project. I'd assume that only staff with the highest clearance would have access to those confidential documents. I've just been working to meet the Grand Sage's specified requirements. However, there's something that's been really bothering me. I heard that a scholar who was previously expelled has returned to the city, and even the sages are still quite wary of him.
To fight against the academia, we will need to figure out the nature and the purpose of their work. Is there a way for us to get access to the confidential documents you mentioned?
It should be possible if we're willing to take some risks. After all, I'm an assistant to the Grand Sage, and I've been working on many tasks outside of the project. One thing, though, I won't be able to transfer the documents to you through the Akasha once I get my hands on them. The sages have always closely monitored all activities within the Akasha. Let me see. Let's use the most primitive method. Send someone to pick up the documents tomorrow evening at the Academia entrance.
The Academia entrance. Wouldn't that be too conspicuous?
Don't worry about that. I assure you, this won't be a trap.
Okay.
I'm only suggesting this location
Sudah
because it'll
bisa
draw more scrutiny for me to leave the
mendapat
Academia again.
informasi ya, berarti ya.
It'll be safest for me to distract the guards long enough to hand you the documents.
All right,
Dan
I
kita
trust
bakal
you.
dapat dokumen
So,
dari Seteria.
If I were to successfully complete this task, would it mean I've atoned for my wrongdoings?
That'll depend on the judgment of the Dendro Archon.
The Dendro Archon. That's right. Her people are the ones we have endangered. As the god of wisdom, she's also the one responsible for judging and guiding the scholars. Maybe it's time for me to find a god to believe in.
Just as Nahida predicted, we've managed to bring Sataria to our side.
The Traveler's execution was ingenious. She's the one who deserves all the praise. Well, now that we've made plans to meet again tomorrow evening, all we can do is pray for Sataria's mission to go off without a hitch.
Pray? But if we're going to pray to the gods, aren't we just praying to you? God of wisdom and guardian of the scholars?
No. The truth is the true guardian of scholars. I've always believed that. Anyway, let's meet again tomorrow evening at the Adventurers Guild.
Oke, bertemu lagi besok. Besok malam jam 7. Oke. Ubah lagi jamnya, guys. Aduh. Tuh. Oke. Kita berhasil merekrut ya, berhasil mempengaruhi Setaria lah. Akhirnya ikut kita. Belum bisa. Jam 7 besok paginya lagi loh. Oke. Oke, kita akan dapat dokumen dari Setaria. Dokumen rahasia negara ya. Dokumen rahasia negara.
Catherine, we're here! Oh, you are the other Catherine, right?
That's right. I suppose I'm the other Catherine in your mind.
Shh! We're on a secret mission tonight, so we need to protect Catherine's identity.
Yep, Paimon's right. We cannot fully rule out the chance that the meetup tonight is just a trap.
Ya,
If something
bisa
were
aja
to happen,
jebakan.
my existence may be the only trump card we'll be able to play. After all, the Academia should still be unable to confirm the existence of my consciousness in the outside world.
Yep, exactly. Just what Paimon was thinking. Anyway, enough about that. Let's just make sure to be on our guard. Off? What do you feel is off? It's the middle
Iya,
of the
anjir,
night.
sepi.
Of course it's quiet. You're not getting paranoid, are you?
No, I think she's right. It really is a lot quieter than usual. If you look around, there seems to be fewer people on the streets. I'm not sure if this is the case for the entire city, though.
Huh.
Apa
Maybe it's just a
Sateria
coincidence.
tetap
Maybe Sataria figured
tetap
out a way
berpihak
to not only distract the guards,
pada
but
akademia.
also to get everyone to go to sleep early, just so we can exchange the documents in peace.
Oh iya, bisa
I
juga
also can't
kan
quite figure out why
dipengaruhi
things feel
semua orang di
off.
Sumeru ini.
But
Suruh
now that
tidur
we're
duluan
here,
bisa jadi.
let's go ahead and meet her as we planned.
Well, regardless, as long as you're here with us, Paimon feels a little safer.
Oke. Ke gate katanya. Oh, kita suruh ke akademinya. Oh, ke situ. Oke. Oh ya, anjir sepi kali.
People out right now.
Oh, tapi ini masih
Let's
ada
hope
tuh,
it'll
masih
be
ada yang
this quiet in
beli.
front of the academia, and that Sataria managed to distract all the guards.
Di atas anjir. Oke, kita pakai ini aja. Pakai teleport. Nah. Harus jalan. Yuh, ampun. Seriously? Gak bisa pakai teleport aja itu. Just anjir. Kok rame? Bosin anjir. Kita lihat dulu guys.
What are all these people doing here at this hour of the night?
Ah, the triumphant hero returns at last. And to a
Anjir.
rather spectacular
Ketahuan berarti ini ya.
welcome, even if I do say so
Oke, kita
myself.
dengarkan dulu.
You're the outcast, expelled from the academia.
Indeed I am. Although these days they tend to call me the Doctor. If you're looking for your researcher friend, she has already been taken into confinement. With some basic caution, she could have discovered the listening device on her person. Clearly, she lacks the degree of rigor expected of a true scholar.
The people of Sumeru City. What have you done to them?
I simply made some minor adjustments to their Akasha terminals. Now they can deposit information directly into the subconscious. As you can see, all these lovely people now believe this traveler is a hero who has just saved the world. My experiment is a success. And now it seems they can no longer hold back their sheer adoration.
No, what should we do? These are all just regular people.
Leave now. You need to get out of here.
But that guy's a Fatui Harbinger. We can't just leave you here.
Nor can I abandon the people of Sumeru. Don't worry. We'll meet again outside of the city.
I see. You appear to have overridden their mental faculties with your own consciousness. To possess such a powerful mind, you must be the god of wisdom.
Anjir, ketemu ini lagi, Harbinger lagi guys ternyata. Dan ketahuan rencana kita. Langsung dipengaruhi loh orang-orangnya. Soalnya pakai Akasha ini guys. Jadi mereka bisa terpengaruh. Oke, sini lagi. Atau kayak mana nih? Kita ketemu di luar kota katanya.
This should be far enough. Paimon needs to catch her breath first. Is the Hida going to be okay? We only made it out because of her. Paimon wasn't counting on running into a new Harbinger here, let alone such a high-ranking one. That guy was number 2.
Number 2 anjir.
So scary.
The Doctor tuh nomor 2 anjir. Kalau Elkan nomor ini ya.
Remember,
Cilde nomor
Terbaru
11
told
anjir,
us
nomor
about
terakhir
him.
anjir.
Sataria did say that someone who
Terus
once
si
got
siapa yang udah
expelled
mati
from
itu
the
si
academia came
Signora
back
itu nomor
recently,
8 kalau nggak salah.
and that even the
Kan ada
sages are weary
11.
of him.
Yang terakhir itu Cilde.
Yep. Sounds like
Dia
she
nomor
must have been
2
talking
anjir.
about the doctor.
Gila.
Yeah. Now that the doctor's in the picture, we're no longer just dealing with the academia. They're in cahoots with the Fatui.
Ya tetap selama ini yang
What are the
mempengaruhi
Fatui
Fatui
after
anjir.
this time? Another Gnosis?
Bisa jadi
Yeah.
ngincer Gnosis
Things
lagi.
would be a lot easier with Nahida's help. Nahida said we'll meet again outside of the city. But we can't just keep waiting around, right? You mean... Oh,
Kita
right!
cari Tyner.
Wasn't he invited by the sages to work on some project when we were staying with him in the Vidia forest? That has to be the same project. Even though he turned it down at the
Oh
time,
ya kan
he
diajak
might still
dulu,
know
tapi
something.
nggak mau dia.
There's no time to lose. Let's go to Gandharvaville.
Let's go. Masih lanjut ya. Makanya nggak bisa pakai teleport. Ada scene ternyata. Masih Act 3 ya, jadi akan kita habiskan sampai ntar Act 4. Mudah-mudahan nggak lama ya. Yuk, langsung aja kita ke bawah. Akhirnya itu udah nggak ngebug lagi ya. Dulu itu ngebug anjir. Jadi dalam posisi belum pernah ditembak dulu. Padahal petinya udah gua ambil. Sekarang udah ngebug, udah dibenerin berarti. Kita nyampe.
Hold it right there! A blonde-haired traveler
Bola sekarang
and a
ketemu
floating
Aaron.
fairy. We've got you all right. Take a look around. You've fallen right into our trap.
Are you
Okay.
mercenaries from the Corps of 30? Did you come here to arrest us?
Corps of 30? We're nothing like those government lapdogs who don't even get scraps for their work.
Beda
We
lagi
are an
ini.
elite brigade that commands the highest commission rate in all of Sumeru. We're here on the orders of a
Outcast.
client known only as the Outcast.
Apakah
The
ini
outcast? An outcast
doctor
from the
bisa jadi
academia? But why
orang-orang
wouldn't the
suruhan
doctor just send the
the
Fatui
doctor?
after us?
Still wasting time on idle chit-chat.
Let's go.
We'll shut you up soon enough. Get them!
You're up, traveler!
New punching.
Spring forth! Here! This dance is for you!
Access denied.
I'll take my leave.
Positions!
Masih ada.
For Rex Lapis, born of ice and frost. Access denied. Here. Don't worry about me.
Oh.
Barbados. Got us.
Meninggal.
Forest blood! Scatter! It isn't over
Masih
yet!
ada lagi.
Here comes reinforcements!
Denied.
All my strength! Dance with the waves!
I'll take my leave. No need.
Propagate!
Alright.
That was pretty rough. Is that what elite mercenaries are like? Yeah. Looks like we'll have to keep our guards up. But this doctor guy seems like a pretty tough opponent. He
Wah,
knew
apakah ntar kita akan
exactly where to
menghadapi The
set up
Doctor?
an
Bisa jadi
ambush.
guys.
Did he predict that we would try to find Kainari? Going up against smart people is tough. Anyway, let's keep going.
Oke. Ntar desanya dibakar apa enggak? Desanya diserang ntar. Find Tyler. Oh enggak, aman. Cuma dicegat aja kita di jalan tadi. Jolly.
Oh, it's the Traveler and Paimon. What are you two doing back here?
Kale! It's nice to see you again. Are you doing alright?
To be honest, I'm not doing too well. My Elazar has been progressing at a faster rate lately. I'm finding it harder to complete more intricate tasks. As a result, Master Tainari is taking me off the patrol schedule. He will only allow me to stay here and coordinate other people's tasks.
Oh, Kale. Speaking of Tainari, did he go off on patrol? We're here to talk to him.
Oh, Master Tainari? He just left the Avidia Forest a little while ago.
Partis Diai.
He was headed to Partis Diai.
He left? But isn't Tainari always saying that he never wants to leave the Avidia Forest? He even turned down the Sage's invitation.
I thought it was weird too. Master Tainari always prioritizes his work as a forest watcher above everything. He almost never leaves his
Ada
post.
kepentingan kayaknya.
He left in a hurry this time though. No, I only found out that he left through a message he left behind. He also made sure to delegate all his tasks using a schedule. To leave in such a hurry?
Tahu sesuatu
I
ini
guess he
Tainari.
had something urgent to take care of. Master Tainari originally studied in the Amorta Darshan of the Academia, and Partis Diai is something like the Amorta's research base. Many rare shrubs and grasses have been planted there for research. I know that
Oke,
before
kita
he
harus
became
kesana
a forest
berarti.
watcher, Master Tainari once spent a long time conducting research at Partis Diai.
A research base, huh? Gotta wonder what kind of research Tainari just decided to work on all of a sudden. Oh, we don't have a lot of time, so let's go look for him at Party's DI.
Don't worry, I'm fine. I'm used to living with Elazar by now.
Dia
If you run
terbiasa
into
dengan
Master
penyakitnya
Tainari,
anjir.
please send him my regards.
Got it. Will do. See you later, Kale.
Oke, kita ke Partis Diai. Jauh juga. Toreng teng. Iya, dia tuh nggak pernah keluar desa itu, guys. Jadi kalau nggak paling cuma patroli. Jadi ini sangat tidak biasa. Tainari sampai sini. Mungkin udah kepentingan. Wih, ada ini ketemu kita. Ketemu Nahida lagi.
Look who it is. Thank goodness you're okay. We were so worried about you. Hey, this is supposed to be a touching reunion, but you're ruining the moment.
Actually, it's very smart of the traveler to be wary of me right
Iya, siapa
now.
tahu dipengaruhi.
After all, the doctor has shown that his technology can apparently even control human minds. Plus, it's not like you could have known what happened after we split up and I was facing the doctor by myself. Even a pool of stagnant water after a torrential storm can occasionally pass as a patch of sky.
Paimon feels like only the real Nahida could come up with such an obscure analogy.
Huh? But I wasn't trying to win your trust or anything. All I wanted was to clarify my point.
Well, we understand that point now. Please, Nahida, tell us more about what happened. Are those poor people all right?
When you left, I was still in the middle of restoring everyone's minds. Thankfully, when the doctor mentioned depositing information into the subconscious, he didn't mean engraving information into their minds. Instead, he did something closer to creating hallucinations. That was still within my power to fix. Luckily, I managed to finish my restorations and mind jump away from him just as he was about to capture me.
Whew. What a relief. The doctor sure pulled out some hidden cards, but good thing we had Nahida with us.
I wouldn't be relieved just yet. I gave away my true identity when I restored everyone's minds,
Jadi
which
ketahuan
means we've
ya.
lost another one of our trump cards. Also, the doctor is already an expert at modifying Akasha terminals. Maybe it's only a matter of time until he captures my consciousness inside the Akasha.
Would that mean you'd no longer be able to jump between minds? Then how do we stop him? He's still at the Academia, so it's possible he already started messing with the Akasha. Ugh. It feels like he's toying with us. What a nasty piece of work. Plus, the doctor's combat ability alone is apparently enough to make him worthy of being number 2 of the Fatui.
We shouldn't give up hope just yet. Let's try to find
Di
another way to
bawahnya
attack this problem.
siapa itu? Lupa gue.
Nihida,
Ya pokoknya di bawah
how did you know
apa
we were
pemimpinnya
trying to
nomor
get
0
to
ya? Gue
Party's
nggak tahu.
Dia?
Nomor 1 deh.
Have you been waiting for us?
Yes, I have. I can see the traveler's elemental energy, so I deduced your destination by looking at the direction you were moving in. You didn't come here for sightseeing, right? Did you find any leads?
We're looking for a scholar we know. His name is Tainari, and the sages once tried to reach out to him. Why don't you come inside with us and see what we can find?
Okay, let's just hope we won't get him into trouble.
Oke. Padi Sarah buat Nilu. Masuk. Loh, Hypatia di sini.
Traveler? It is you!
Ah, the voice! It's Hypatia!
Ah, what a pleasant surprise! It's so nice to see the two of you again.
Who's this?
She's a scholar we met in the Avidia Forest. When we last saw each other, she was still training in the... what's it called? Satyavada life?
Oh, I see.
That's right, we're old friends. You've come at just the right time. Ever since I've come here, hardly anyone has even talked to me.
Hypatia, you're way too excited about this. Actually, for you to leave the Avidia Forest means... you're not in training anymore? Wait, no. Did you already finish your training and reach Paripurna life?
Paripurna.
What do you think? My consciousness has already managed to make contact with the divine.
Oh, latihannya udah berhasil.
You did it? Congratulations!
It's so exhilarating to share this sublime joy with others at long last. When my consciousness made contact with the gods. Ah, what a supreme and unparalleled experience that was.
That sounds incredible!
Oh, all right. Actually, please wait. I haven't forgotten my promise to you. Remember? I promised to help you understand what you saw from Irminsul once I gained deeper insights. My current self has not only gained true insight, but I can even help you establish a direct connection to the consciousness of the divine.
You can do that?
I've never heard of anything like that, but if you want to give it a try, I'll do my best to protect your consciousness during the process.
Hold on. I brought some spirit borneal with me. This is still a crucial part of the ceremony.
We're using that incense again?
All right now. Hold my hand. I'll help you establish a pathway to connect your consciousness.
Kerasukan lagi nih.
Okay.
Tapi kita dijaga Nahida, tenang.
Ready?
Malah jadi percobaan lagi loh.
It took 3 betrayals for me to finally understand. The world is just an elaborate tapestry of lies.
Loh,
My fury will never be quelled.
Listrik.
The first to betray me was a god. My creator.
My mother. Oh,
My mother.
Scaramucci ya?
Valuing strength above all. She saw no worth in me and I was discarded. The second was a human.
Manusia.
My family. My friend.
Diapain lagi nih?
Consumed by fear, he saw me as an abomination.
Tapi dia itu juga cuma boneka guys, Scaramucci itu bukan manusia.
The third was one exactly like me. A hope for the future. A fledgling barely out of the nest. Powerless before his mortality,
Mati
he
anjir.
broke his promise to me. Humans, they can't be trusted. And the gods fill me with pure loathing. So I said good riddance.
Jadi ada hubungannya sama
I
Shogun
denounced the
kan ya?
world and laugh in its face. My chest will never again be defiled by worldly filth. I will scrub away every last trace of human emotion. Then it will be empty, a blank slate, and ready to receive a supreme gnosis, brimming with pure divinity. There is no need to fear. The pain will be brief. Your era is coming to an end.
Kenapa jadi hubungannya kok sekarang? Ya sekarang Moche emang ini juga sih.
What was that?
Emang apa namanya?
Did we actually just see the Baladier's memories?
Ya emang
Everything matches what we know about
ini
him.
juga guys.
But how is he connected
Fatui
to the
juga
divine
dia.
consciousness that Hypatia was talking about?
Setelah dibuang
You saw it, right?
si
You
A.
felt it, right? Such a majestic god! Such a noble will! Such sublime emotion!
Hypatia jadi aneh ya.
Shame. If only...
Jangan-jangan nih.
that which beats within my chest wasn't a filthy mortal heart.
Jangan-jangan bukan Hypatia nih.
Oh, great and merciful God! Please grant me
apa nih,
forgiveness
nggak
and
tahu
salvation.
Do you understand now? I'm afraid this is no Puripurna life, but rather...
Bangun boy.
You... Why are you so mean to me? Why is everyone hiding from me? I found divine wisdom. Shouldn't I receive praise and honor? Haven't I uncovered that light in the darkness?
Hypatia?
That's how I always thought everything should be. Wait, have I
Jadi gila
already
anjir.
lost my mind?
Kirain bukan Hypatia. Jadi pikirannya aneh-aneh dia. Otaknya geser anjir.
Wait, something isn't right.
Kenapa? Di luar ada apa? Loh, Isin lagi guys. Loh, diserang bro. Aduh, dikejrot anjir. Oke. Tapi kan itu cuma kesadarannya ya, bukan Nahida yang asli. Yang kegejrot malah si Catherine-nya. Oke, Nahida balik kesadarannya. I see you. Wih, ketahuan sama Scaramoche. Iya kayaknya, tuh kan. Oh ini katanya bakal jadi weekly boss baru guys. Naik Gundam gitu. Iya anjir, kayak Gundam kalau kalian pernah nonton Iron Blood Orphan juga gitu guys. Gundam Iron Blood Orphan ketempelan gitu badannya. Ini lawan Scaramoche. Kayaknya iya deh. Oh enggak, kira ini ya. Loh ini Tyner nih.
Okay, we finally lost him. Are you okay, Nahida? Wait, no.
Oh, udah pindah
Something feels
kesedarannya.
different. You're back.
Oh, the traveler's back?
Nahida was controlling your body for a while. It seemed like she jumped over to you as an emergency measure right
Nah,
before the
terus
captain puppet
Catherine-nya
was
gimana?
destroyed.
Oh, Catherine
After
Puppet.
that, Kainari
Jadi
heard the
bukan
commotion and came
Catherine
over.
asli juga ya,
He
gitu
helped
ya.
us defeat the mercenaries and then he
Aman.
ran with us all the way here.
Tidak ada yang mati.
What? You swapped places? You mean your consciousness also went into Nahida's body? Wait, then where is Nahida's consciousness? Where is she now?
I never imagined that an individual's consciousness could be transferred around like this. Had I not seen it with my own eyes, I would have never believed it. I don't think this can be achieved with current human technology. Also, while we were running, the consciousness in your body told me to pass on a message. She said, The doctor has found a way to trap my consciousness, so I can't journey with you anymore.
Berarti
But
ya,
even in a
terjebak
moonless
ya
night,
kesadarannya
a shower of starlight can still drown out illusions and lies.
Oke, tapi tadi kasih tahu caranya untuk menghancurkan
Trapped in the
jebakannya ya.
sanctuary of Surasthana for good this time. Was that message all she left for us? It's pretty vague. Oh, that makes sense. Since the doctor captured her, she won't be able to say anything without him knowing. She's being extra careful. Even in a moonless night, a shower of starlight can still drown out illusions and lies.
Kemungkinan kita dibawa ke ini
knows
berarti.
the moon illusions and lies are from the alchemical
gurun pasir
divination
berarti
at the
abis ini ya.
Sub-Zero's festival. Didn't Nahida use a starlight analogy before? It had something to do with Sataria. Oh, that makes a lot of sense. Huh. Do you think Nahida was telling us to go find help in the desert?
Bisa jadi.
She isn't with us anymore. Think we'll be okay?
Paimon, you said Sanctuary of Surasthana. Does this mean that this Nahida you're talking about, the consciousness who was occupying the traveler's
The
body,
Dendro
is
Archon, iya.
the Dendro Archon?
Your guess is correct, but the situation's a bit complicated, so it's really hard for us to explain right now.
That's all right. A scholar's curiosity doesn't need to be appeased right away. As for the complicated nature of the situation, safe to say I have witnessed that for myself. I've spent some time with you, and it looks like the Dendro Archon's also on your side, so I trust you.
Thank you, Tainari. Oh, actually, we came here to ask you a question. What do you know about the project that the sages have been working on?
Ah, that. While I was indeed invited to join that project, the sages were always secretive about its scope and goals, so I eventually declined. All I know is that that project has something to do with the restoration of Irminsul.
Huh? Did you see something when you were in Nahida's body? What?
Oh, membuat
Do you have any evidence?
Scaramouche jadi dewa anjir. Oh.
So that's what happened.
Jadi
That explains why
biar
Hypatia's
mereka nganggap,
symptoms were different
orang-orang
from
Sumeru
those of the
nganggap
other scholars
Dendro
who
Archon
went
itu
mad.
si
It's because she made
Scaramouche.
contact with the consciousness of a new god who is still in the process of being born.
Tainari, did you leave the Avidia Forest because of Hypatia?
I did. I noticed Hypatia's mental anomalies, but since her symptoms were rather atypical, I secretly took her to Pardes Dii and began searching for a way to return her to her normal self. If I didn't take action,
Emang mau nyembuhin
Hypatia would have already
Hypatia,
been
makanya
taken by the Matra
Tainari
to the
kesana.
desert, doomed to a life of exile at Aru village. Now that you mention it, I knew the Academia has never thought particularly highly of Lesser Lord Kusanali, but I still didn't expect them to do something as arrogant as creating a new god. Looks like I made the right decision by not accepting their invitation. The Doctor and the Balladeer.
Balladeer, Scaramouche.
We have 2 Fatui Harbingers in Sumeru. Sounds like we're in for a bad time. From your description, I don't think they've completed their project. There may still be room for us to intervene. But then, what is the connection between creating a new god and restoring Irminsul?
Apa hubungannya
Yeah.
bikin
Feels like
Dua
we're still
baru
nowhere
sama
close to figuring out the sage's
menyembuhkan
goals.
Irminsul?
Right. We've pretty much gone over everything we need to know, so we should head out. How about you, Tainari? What are you going to do?
I'll stay here for now. I still want to try a few more things to help Hypatia. If you're planning to go into the desert, start by heading for Caravan Rabat. That'll be your fastest route. Come find me here if there's anything else I can do to help. May the spirit of wisdom go with you.
Thanks, Tainari. Hopefully Hypatia will feel better soon. We're off then.
Oke. Oke, masih Act 3 kah? Masih Act 3, jadi sekarang kita ke Caravan Rabat, kita akan ke desertnya. Let's go. Wah, ternyata itu rencananya orang-orang disuruh ngelupain Nahida biar menganggap ada dewa baru, yaitu si Scaramoche itu. Begindang. Jadi ada 2 Fatui Harbinger di satu kota ini, gila. Udah nggak cuma satu-satu ini munculnya. Kita sampai.
We finally made it to Caravan Rebot. It's pretty lively here. So, just past this wall is the desert, huh? Oh, wow. Paimon remembers hearing people call this the Wall of Samiel. It's made to block sandstorms from the outside. Oh, if it's this tall, it's gotta be the divine work of Greater Lord Rukkhadevata, right?
Enough gawking.
Hitam.
Come on, follow me.
Oke.
Huh?
Temal hitam.
Over here.
Oke. Langsung.
Oh, Haytham went that way! Let's hurry up and follow him. Wonder what he's up to.
Travelers and visitors, don't miss it.
Oh, ada penjaga, Cuk.
What the? Where did she go?
Kita dikejar anjir. Tentara bayaran.
How did we lose them? They were just here a second ago.
More Aramite mercenaries? Who are they working for this time? Anyway, Traveler, it seems like we were being followed again.
You were too careless. You should have noticed those hopeless amateurs trailing you a long time ago. There's no need to thank me. I've never cared to keep track of personal favors. All I did was correct a mistake I happened to come across. It's a habit I developed at the academia.
You really gave Paimon a scare, Al-Haytham. We never thought we'd run into you here. Last time
Tapi
we
kita masih
met
belum
at
tahu
Port
ya Al-Haytham
Ormos,
tuh
didn't you
orang
say you
baik
were
atau
going
bukan ya?
back to the
Kayaknya
academia?
baik sih, kayaknya.
Wait, don't tell Paimon that you're here to take us back on their orders.
Oh, so you've already landed yourselves on the academia's hit list. I can't say that I didn't expect it. However, had I wished to turn you over to the academia, don't you think you'd already be the Eremites' honored guests by now?
Oh, right. You do have a point.
I have no interest in running errands for that project. As a scholar, I've always belonged to the camp that promotes researcher autonomy. And these days, you're more fascinating than anything the sages can offer. Not quite. To tell you the truth, I'm still investigating the Divine Knowledge Capsule. Unfortunately, I've run into some difficulties. Everyone says the capsule originated in the desert and was eventually moved to Port Ormos. If I am to get to the bottom of this, I must understand how the capsule first came to be. Which brings me back to you, and why you're so interesting. The leader of Ain al-Ahmar used the Divine Knowledge Capsule right in front of you. And upon seeing him, your expression became perplexed, and you were lost in thought for quite some time. To have that kind of reaction, I think you must have realized something. Are you interested at all in sharing what you've been hiding from me?
Al-Haytham, you really have a ridiculous eye for detail. What kind of person even notices or remembers stuff like that?
So that's your answer. Well, I do work for the academia after all. So considering that, it is indeed wise to keep your cards close to your chest. But that does prove you do have some undisclosed information about the Divine Knowledge Capsule. Am I right? No matter. Rather than simply learning the answers from you, I'd still prefer to investigate on my own. Speaking of, you two are also headed to the desert?
That's right! We have the same plan as you! But we don't really have any concrete goals at the moment.
Then I'd suggest starting with Aru Village. It's the largest settlement in the desert, so it'll probably have more resources and intel than anywhere else. Well, would you like to head there together?
Okay.
It's always better to travel with someone you know. Let's go!
Kita ke Aru Village. Oke, kita perjalanan dengan Al Hitam. Jadi ada soal kapsul, soal dewa, dewi, I don't know. Just let's play. Nyampe Aru Village. Sekarang ngapain?
Before us lies Aru Village, the safe haven of the desert folk.
Whoa, this landscape is really something else. What a cool place! Let's go check it out!
Kok nge-lag guys? Anjir, ada scene. Apalagi nih? Bertarung lagi, ketahuan lagi. Anjir, diserang. Serang Cino anjir. Oke. Bisa nempel gitu. Tahu ya Al Hitam.
Unless my memory fails me, we have barely spoken 2 words to each other before now at the Academia. Would you care to enlighten me as to when and how I invited the General Mahamatra's wrath?
Hatham, do not think you can escape my judgment just because you managed to escape my attack.
Judgment? So that's how you'd characterize your actions here, is it? Or would elimination perhaps be a more accurate description?
Had I used my full strength, not even this traveler would have been able to stop me. Though styled like an assassination, I sought only to ensure that my target would be unable to flee or resist. Standard practice for the Matra, as well you know.
Seemed to me more like your own personal touch.
Who is that, Al Hatham? Did you call him General Mahamatra?
Yes. General Mahamatra Sino, head of all the Matra at the Academia. He's a formidable hunter, and the ultimate nightmare for any who have committed academic crimes.
You seem to have placed a lot of trust in Al Hatham, to the point of blocking an attack for him. If I were you, I'd never choose to side with him. I wouldn't believe a single word that comes out of his mouth. I have been pursuing this scribe for a long time. I urge you, stand back and do not seek to defend him any longer. Otherwise, there will be consequences.
Has Al Hatham done something wrong? Hyman doesn't think he's as bad as you made him out to be.
I won't waste my breath explaining things. Al Hatham, I saw it during our fight. Take it out. The divine knowledge capsule you're hiding on your person. Unless you want me to retrieve it for myself.
Very perceptive of you. Nothing escapes a Matra's senses.
Jadi kita udah tahu. Kemarin kita nggak tahu ceritanya, tapi kita kan lihat ya. Kan kalau levelnya nggak lihat itu. So you did lie to us.
No wonder you speak with such confidence, Sino. But I must admit, I'm very curious. What does this capsule mean to you? And why, as General Mahamatra of the Academia, are you all alone in the desert? As far as I'm aware, the other Matra have been speculating about your disappearance. Have you been given a mission that's, let's say, morally dubious? If I was the real target of your mission, what was stopping you from simply using your authority and resources to judge me within the walls of the Academia?
I should have known you'd be difficult to deal with.
You two? Ugh. What you would do,
Kita nggak bisa percaya mereka berdua.
Either of them.
Well, look at you two, acting all tough and self-righteous over there.
Wait, dia?
Apa kesini juga dia? Apa dia asli sini ya?
Great, finally someone that we can trust.
Bisa kita percaya.
Otherwise, these two are gonna start fighting again.
Yeah, sure looks that way. Two giants from the Academia duking it out once and for all. Not something you get to see every day, that's for sure. Listen, I know you academic types love to fill up your big brains with self-righteous morality and lord your empty rules and virtues over each other. But how dare you bring your petty disputes into the safe haven of Aru Village? It seems like someone's gonna have to beat some sense into your thick skulls until you finally learn to respect these grounds.
Kayaknya ini rumahnya Dehya deh, bisa jadi guys.
Hey, did either of you hear a word I just said?
Ada angin.
Whoa, what's going on? The wind's so strong. Is this a sandstorm? Paimon's gonna get blown away.
Another sandstorm? What's up with these recently?
Ih, ada Candace juga.
All of you, over here, quickly! We have to take cover.
Someone's calling for us. Oh, this wind is too strong. Let's get over there.
That sounded like Candace. Come on, you two. Jeez, are all of you academia folks such hard work? Move it!
All right, stop yelling.
Berantem aja. Lu ada badai pasir udah. Sembunyi dulu malah. Berantem aja. Gak mau duduk sebelahan Pak.
Well,
Seperti
pretty awkward. Hey, wanna play sardines with 3 people who wanna tear each other limb from limb? Sure, why not? Sounds fun. The air is so thick and heavy. Paimon can hardly keep floating anymore.
My sincere apologies, everyone. This is the home of our village chief. I will have to ask you to make do with this small room until the sandstorm dies down. Please, let me introduce myself. I am Candace, protector of Aru Village.
Our savior has come at last. Nice to meet you, Candace. The name's Paimon. Thank you so much for helping us.
There's no need to thank me. It's only right to help each other when the weather gets rough.
Wow, she's so gentle and caring.
like a
older
older
sister.
sister.
Unlike those guys over there.
Seperti
Alright.
mereka.
Now that we're all better acquainted, we should return to the topic at hand. As a guardian charged with the responsibility to protect my fellow villagers from harm, I was observing your conflict from afar, even before the sandstorm started. And now that you have set foot within our village itself, it is all the more my responsibility to make absolutely sure that you pose no threat whatsoever to us. So please, have an honest and sincere conversation with one another, and put your hostile feelings to rest. If anyone dares to start anything again while they are under this roof, I will not hesitate to send them out for some quality time with the creatures of the sandstorm.
On second thought, Paimon may have misjudged Candace's character.
And that goes for you too, Miss Dia. Do I make myself clear?
All right, we got it, Candace.
That's what I like to hear. So, which of you will begin?
I was supposed to be a mediator, but I might have gotten a little too involved just now. Anyway, one of those two should probably start talking.
Wait, that was you trying to be a mediator?
I have nothing to hide, so there's no shame in explaining myself. While all Hatham wasn't wrong about the other Matra not knowing my whereabouts, it's not because I've been assigned a morally dubious mission. Rather, I've chosen to exile myself.
Huh? Exile yourself?
A little while ago, I discovered that there was data missing in the Academia's project planning and development files.
Yang ngambil si ini pasti.
What little they did report clearly did not match the
Setaria.
project's actual progress. As General Mahamatra, I had the responsibility and authority to
datanya,
request
guys.
an audit.
Jadi kemungkinan diambil
However,
yang dibilang Setaria
to
tadi
my
yang mau dikasih
surprise,
kita itu.
the person responsible for the erroneous data was none other than Grand
kan?
Sage Azar himself. I tried to investigate the issue myself before submitting a formal audit request, but I soon found that all leads and potential pieces of incriminating evidence were carefully concealed from me. I began to realize that They were cautious of me from the very beginning. Unsurprisingly, the Grand Sage rejected my audit request as soon as the submission reached his desk. He even said to me, "The power of the General Mahamatra is granted by the sages. You have no right to judge us."
So they really are up to no good.
I realized then that to the Grand Sage, the Matra are nothing more than tools for the sages to assert and maintain their control over knowledge. The vows that we took, the principles that we strive to uphold, they are meaningless to the academia of today. I believed it would be wise to flee the academia before the sages had a chance to take action against them. This way, they can no longer see nor predict my actions. I will never give up on this investigation. There's no need for someone else to give me power or authority. Once I find the truth, I will administer judgment by my own name.
Sino seems to have the same goal as us. We're all investigating the sages. Plus, now that he's no
sama-sama
longer the General
menginvestigasi ya.
Mahamatra, he somehow feels a lot less scary. Well, Sino, if that's your story, then why did you see Alhaitham as a target?
When I was investigating the matter in the academia, I overheard a conversation between Alhaitham and a sage. The sages asked you to investigate a blonde-haired traveler.
Dia nyuruh
Do you
kita
dispute this,
menginvestigasi.
Alhaitham?
What?
Like many parts of the project, this assignment was
Jadi
undocumented.
penjaganya juga
Now
curiga
throw in
sama
your suspicious
Sakinya.
behavior
Jadi
with the
yang
divine
baik
knowledge
hero, guys,
capsule,
di sini.
and I think we deserve an explanation.
Yes. I was indeed tasked with investigating the traveler.
Dia emang dikirim untuk investigasi
After
kita.
all,
ya.
the promised reward was so great that hardly any scholar could have refused. The sage told me, once you've completed this assignment, I can give you a glimpse of divine knowledge.
A most enticing offer.
Unfortunately, those academics don't know me at all. Their words contained one key piece of information, namely that divine knowledge indeed exists. That gave me all I needed to know. From my perspective, the sages are far from trustworthy.
Oke, tapi
Think about it.
Hitam juga gak percaya sama
Isn't it a
Sages
little
sih.
strange they're so willing to share divine knowledge with anyone, even as a reward? So,
iya sih.
I began my own
Pengetahuan
investigation
luar biasa,
following the
divine
lead of the
knowledge.
divine knowledge capsule. In the end, I realized my wisdom in committing to this rather than collaborating with the sages. Had I been less guarded, I probably would have ended up like that
Oke,
Aino
jadi
Ahmar mercenary,
keduanya
incapable of
sama-sama
remaining
baik
sane
ini
for
kayaknya.
long enough to hold a
Udah
conversation.
mulai curiga sama
Really?
The Sages kayaknya.
That the sages originally planned to dispose of you, using one of those capsules that drive people insane?
I'd already given up on the assignment by then. I only told the academia I was waiting in Port Ormos for you to appear so they wouldn't suspect anything. So it came as quite a surprise when I encountered my erstwhile target while investigating the divine knowledge capsule.
Criminals do love to talk about coincidences.
Even though I ran into the traveler by chance, I had no intention of
tetap
providing
berantem
assistance
itu
to the
orangnya.
academia. Also, you should remember, you were the ones who decided to follow me and strike up a conversation after I left that tavern.
That's true. Alhaitham helped us out at Caravan Rebat as well.
Iya.
Maybe he's telling the truth.
Tapi dia
I'm willing
bantuin
to
kita juga ya.
apologize if
Jadi
that's worth anything to you. I took the
Dia juga
divine knowledge
bohongin The
capsule
Sages
behind
juga.
your back because I judged its existence to be a
Dia punya tujuan
significant risk.
sendiri. Karena dia juga
I
gak
felt
percaya
that it
sama
would be
The
best for
Sages
no one
gitu.
to interact with it
Dia
before it
kerja
had been
sama cuma
properly
buat
studied.
apa
After
bisa
all,
sampai ke tujuannya Alhaitham
curiosity
sendiri
often proves to be
gitu.
the most dangerous thing in this land.
You should be well aware, Scribe Alhaitham, that curiosity can also lead you to danger and suspicion. Answer me this. Did the sages share any information about their project with you?
Have I not made myself clear? You and I are both distrusted by the academia.
Ini dari percaya
Do you really think they would tell me
ininya
anything?
jenderalnya juga nggak
Fine.
dipercaya, bro.
Although you haven't completely
Pokoknya
proven your
disembunyiin lah.
innocence,
Yang tahu cuma The
I won't
Sages doang.
regard you as an enemy. For
As
Aduh,
you
nggak
wish.
sorry guys.
Good. I'm glad to see you two clearing up
Oh,
your
duduk
misunderstandings. And now you, Dia. I believe it's your turn.
Oh, sorry. Whatever the boys were talking about must have been so boring that I spaced out. Ahem. My situation is pretty straightforward. My employer, Dunyarzad of the Homayani family, is friends with the Traveler and is currently recovering from her illness at home. I had nothing going on, so I decided to return to Aru village for a visit. I was actually looking forward to a pretty exciting time getting back together with everyone here. But then I saw these two random guys in the middle of a pointless argument. It ticked me off, and things went downhill from there.
Is that all? Well, I will admit that definitely sounds like your style. In that case, welcome back, dear.
That's more like it. I missed you all so much, Candace.
Wow. Tuh kan orang sini deh ya, bro.
No need to worry. Now that you're no longer at each other's throats, please make yourselves at home. I'll take a quick trip outside to clear out some of those creatures in the sandstorm.
Oh.
Creatures?
Makhluk.
In the sandstorm? Are you sure you don't want some backup?
Fighting in a sandstorm is not for the faint-hearted. Anyone without extensive training in these conditions is at a disadvantage. You needn't worry.
Yeah, just leave them to Candace. Don't worry, she's as tough as they come.
Okay. Sandstormnya udah hilang.
The winds died down. That means the sandstorm's over, right? Candace still isn't back yet, though. Is she alright? Maybe we should go out and check on her.
When you put it that way, even I'm starting to feel a little worried.
Okay,
all right,
tapi nggak
let's
balik-balik
go.
nih, Candace.
We've been here long enough, and the boys are as chatty as the floor.
Kita kejar si Candace. Oke, nextnya apakah kita bisa masuk rumah ini lagi? Mungkin bisa, guys. Oke, Candace nggak balik-balik nih. Kenapa nih? Jadi ya yang mencurigakan, yang sus emang akademi ya, guys. Candace. Ada itu WordPress ini ya. Kok serigala yang menyerang?
Candace, you're still fighting?
Udah
You've been out
beres.
here dealing with these creatures the entire time?
Yes. They just keep coming in waves. I've lost count of how many I've defeated. Before I realized it, even the sandstorm had stopped.
Here comes another wave!
Kok datang lagi
Leave
ya?
this round to us. I got interrupted earlier, but now I have something to take my anger out on.
It's been quite a while since I've seen the Flame Mane in action. I'll leave these to you then.
I'll be sure to put on a good show. Let's go!
No touching! Access denied! All hail!
Here comes another wave! When are they ever gonna let up?
I swear by my sword!
Spring forth! Propagate!
Oke, beres.
The creature stopped appearing. Was that the last of them?
What we fought just now was probably the aftermath of the sandstorm. So we should be safe for the time being.
Well fought, everyone. No injuries, I hope.
Kakek-kakek ini.
Huh? Who are you?
My apologies. I haven't had a chance to greet you yet. I had my hands full taking care of the village's elderly and children. I am the chief of Aru village. Everyone usually calls me Uncle Anpu.
Sir, I am also originally from the desert,
dia juga aslinya dari sini,
but I have
guys.
not been back for some time now. May I ask if such sandstorms are common?
I can't say they've always been common, but recently the storms have
tapi
become
mulai ada
increasingly
peningkatan ya.
severe and frequent. Besides sandstorms, we also occasionally get earthquakes. According to an investigator who stayed in the village a while ago, these unusual natural phenomena are related to the withering of Irminsul.
Oh, gara-gara Irminsul ini ya.
Another effect of Irminsul's withering. So, Irminsul's withering causes withering zones in the forest, and sandstorms and earthquakes here in the desert?
Everything in the natural world is inextricably connected to Irminsul. These regional symptoms can indeed be a reflection of Irminsul's present state.
Everyone in Aru village needs to take good care of themselves. Speaking of which, why haven't I seen a single village keeper since I got here?
Village keeper? Who are they? Village guards like Candace?
Does your curiosity know no bounds? Village Keeper is how Aru Village refers to mad scholars exiled here by the Academia. Most of them are scholars who lost their sanity after a period of training in the Avidia Forest. The Academia believes that their crazed mutterings may have a negative effect on the psyches of other scholars. So, they're forcibly exiled to the desert. Though if you ask me, it's all a boatload of nonsense.
Alas, that's exactly what we've been trying to investigate. One by one, the village keepers have been mysteriously disappearing without a trace. But no one in the village has ever seen them leave. If you're planning to stay around the village for the next few days, I'd appreciate it if you could keep an eye out for them.
I've had encounters with those people in the past. I'll see what I can do to help.
The Matra are the ones responsible for their exile. Now that you're no longer with them, are you trying to alleviate your guilt and atone for your past sins? I'm fascinated by how you think.
Mock me if you will, but if you are guilty, I will eliminate you, regardless of my position or identity.
Oh, you're the former General Mahamatra. You must be an expert in these kinds of investigations. Thank you for your help.
Is it because you're reminded of Hypatia? Oh, these poor scholars.
Pada kehilangan kesadarannya anjir.
We need to help get them back home, safe and sound. But
pada dijadiin bahan percobaan sama the dokter anjir.
Tag along with Sino. You seem like you really don't trust him.
I'll be grateful for the assistance. No doubt you will do a better job than some of my former subordinates. Let's start by finding a spot to share what we know so far.
Oke, kita kemana dulu nih? Aduh, tugas baru lagi. Baik, di desa ya. Oke, kita tukeran ini. Tukeran informasi sama Chino.
Although I've sent myself into exile, I'm still doing essentially the same things as before. Do you still have any questions for me before we start our investigation? One of my former subordinates told me that this title has its origins in a strange incident. The Academia has long exiled mad scholars to Aru Village. A mysterious phenomenon exists here. When mad scholars first arrive, they are as incoherent and deranged as before. But after spending some time here, they invariably begin to calm down. Initially, the people of Aru Village greatly resented having to take in the mad scholars. But a strange incident one night changed that. Aru Village was struck by the strongest earthquake in living memory. Seeing buildings on the verge of collapse all around him, the then chief of the village was preparing to take everyone to safety. Suddenly, he noticed a mad scholar crouching in a corner, caressing the ground with his hands. A soft, green light radiated from him, like a divine glow against the backdrop of night. Despite the powerful tremors that ripped through the ground that night, all the houses remained upright, almost as if they had grown roots reaching deep into the ground. In the end, not a single building collapsed, and no one was hurt. After that, the people of Aru village treated the mad scholars with greater kindness, and began to refer to them as the village keepers.
The soft green light? A mad scholar protecting Aru village? What do you make of it, traveler?
Pasti kekuatannya Nahida.
Actually, Sino, do you know if any of the mad scholars continued to wear their Akasha terminals at Aru village?
In theory, they would continue wearing them so the academia could still monitor their activities.
Itu gara-gara Akasha itu makanya pada
the main Akasha system would no longer have any interaction with them.
Oh, no wonder! Everything makes sense then! Add in the fact that they calmed down, it was probably Nahida who calmed them.
If you were able to draw a conclusion from this one story alone, then it appears you possess much more information than I do. So, what do you make of the story? Really? Lesser Lord Kusanali.
What? You don't believe us? Lesser Lord Kusanali was definitely using the Akasha to give her power to the mad scholars!
No, it's not so much that I don't believe you. I'm just struck by your reasoning. Lesser Lord Kusanali, the current Dendro Archon. Is she really active in Sumeru? The Academia has always placed far greater importance on the late Greater Lord Rukkhadevata. They've more or less ignored Lesser Lord Kusanali, and I've never had any reason to doubt their views. In addition, I've never heard any stories about Lesser Lord Kusanali and her deeds. To me, she might as well have been a god that never existed.
No way! Nahida definitely exists! She's a... how should Paimon put it? She's a good Archon who's kind and wise, even if she says weird stuff sometimes.
I've spent many years interrogating criminals, so I can easily tell when someone is lying.
Good! Then you should know that we're telling the truth!
That look in your eyes. I've never seen that from a liar. You two really must have met Lesser Lord Kusanali. How can this be? To think, our Archon has been amongst us this entire time.
Alright, now it's our turn to put our skills to good use for this investigation. But easier said than done, especially since we don't have any leads. Maybe we can start by knocking on some doors.
Excuse me, are you here to help me find my grandpa?
Bilang kemana lagi simbahnya?
By the sounds of it, a resident of this village.
My name is Isak. You'll help me find my grandpa, right?
Is your grandpa a mad scholar?
Hey, don't say that. Grandpa is just Grandpa. Why do you have to call him that? It's not like he's a bad person or anything.
The person you're referring to is not a local, yet you are. Why do you call him Grandpa?
Grandpa is just Grandpa. He's my family. I heard everything you said to the village chief. Please, you gotta take me with you. I want to find my grandpa. I swear I'll help. I won't be a nuisance.
Ah, so you're the one who was eavesdropping on us around the village chief's house. I was planning to go out and take care of whoever it was, but I had a vague feeling that they didn't harbor any ill intent.
Whoa. Haven wasn't kidding about Matra having sharp senses. Sino, he's just a kid. All he wants is to find his grandpa. Let's find a way to help him.
Sorry. I was only listening in because I wanted to know where Grandpa went. Honest. If you don't believe me, you can ask Miss Candace.
All right. But first, let's confirm the facts with Candace.
Jadi kita tanya Candace dulu, bener nggak simbahnya hilang? Simbahnya nggak hilang, ntar. Oh, hacker. Shit, ditipu. Walah sih, ini rumahnya. Bisa kita masukin sekarang. Oke. Kok lama ternyata guys. Ini udah mau 2 jam kayaknya. Beres-beres Act 3.
Sino is super vigilant. Is this what all the Matra are like?
Ah, You're back already.
We just wanted to confirm something with you. Do you know a boy by the name of Isak?
I had a feeling he'd go looking for you.
Huh? You knew this would happen?
Yes. Although he tried his best to stay hidden, I still noticed him eavesdropping outside the window. He really wants to get his grandfather back. Isak's parents were both Aramite mercenaries who rarely returned to the village after finding employment in the city. He was raised by his grandfather. Unfortunately, it was only a few years before his grandpa passed away. Isak was still very young at the time, so various families in the village took turns caring for him so he could survive. Later, an elderly mad scholar arrived at the village. Isak thought the scholar bore a striking resemblance to his grandfather, and thus often spied on the man. However, the scholar was unkempt in appearance and incoherent in speech. Although Isak referred to the man as his grandpa, he was afraid and didn't dare to approach him. One summer night, the oft mumbling and bumbling grandpa suddenly calmed down and seemed to become more lucid. He even noticed Isak hiding in the distance. So Grandpa walked up to Isak and patted him on the head. He even took Isak to the entrance of the village, where he patiently taught the boy the names of the stars, and accompanied Isak until he fell asleep. The next morning, Isak woke up and wanted to go find his grandpa again, only to realize his grandpa no longer recognized him. However, even so, Grandpa retained his calm expression. It's said that those who saw the scholar claimed he no longer appeared to be crazy, but appeared to be living in his own world, almost as if he were sleepwalking. Isak was thrilled that his grandpa was able to find peace, and would follow him all the time, asking him things like, "Grandpa, want me to take you somewhere fun?" Or, "Grandpa, could you tell me stories about the stars again?"
All this somehow just makes Paimon feel really sad. It seems like they both deserve so much better.
Perhaps. Nearly everyone who lives in the desert has some form of hardship or regret. But even so, we must still continue on with our lives. It's also my reason for fighting. I must continue to protect this land.
Maybe the people have always had a considerate god watching over them.
Huh? What did you say, Sino?
No, nothing. As long as Isak keeps his word and doesn't get in our way, we can take him along.
Perhaps you are more compassionate than I gave you credit for. Please accept my thanks on Isak's behalf, Sino.
Oke, terus sekarang kita ngapain nih? Udah pass away, Juk. Sudah meninggal, Juk. Simbahnya. Terus?
Hey, Isak! Oh, it's you guys! We've cleared everything up. Let's go find your grandpa.
Really? Wow! Thank you so much! Yeah!
Alright. Let's ask the local residents some questions first.
Meninggal apa hilang? Oke, sudah beres. Oh, ternyata nggak selama itu. Baru kemarin, baru tadi diomongin kok lama. Ternyata udah beres. Oke, guys, jadi itulah Act 3 dari Archon Quest di Sumeru City, di Sumeru ya. Jadi kita diperkenalkan karakter-karakter baru lagi, yaitu Sino dan Candice, dan kita sudah mencapai area baru ya, yaitu desert. So besok akan kita lanjutkan lagi untuk Act 4. Intinya kita bantuin bocah lah ya, nyariin simbahnya yang hilang, nggak tahu nih kemana. Dan ternyata banyak masalah selain mau si Scaramouche mau jadi dewa di Sumeru menggantikan Nahida. Itulah kenapa makanya orang-orang di Sumeru pada nggak percaya Nahida, karena emang mau disetting sama The Doctor buat orang-orang ini dipengaruhi buat percaya kalau dewanya itu ganti jadi si Scaramouche ini. Makanya projectnya mereka masih berjalan dan kayaknya udah mau mulai berhasil. Makanya ini kita mencoba untuk mencegahnya ya, karena apa namanya udah bisa dikendaliin kayak gitu. Tadi ngeri banget si The Doctor, si apa Harbinger nomor 2 ya. Jadi ada 2 Harbinger di satu kota, ini akan lebih rumit. Terus masih ada masalah juga si Al-Hitam, entah soal kapsul-kapsul itu ya. Jadi nggak tahu apa hubungannya, mungkin ada hubungannya, cuman intinya itu udah masalah yang lain lagi, masalah yang beda lagi. Terus kita ketemu Chino, mungkin Des, dan berkunjung ke desa ini. Oke, so hari ini sampai situ aja guys. Thank you buat yang udah nonton, like dan subscribe, yang biasa dan komen juga. Besok akan kita lanjutkan lagi untuk Archon questnya, dan akan kita ungkap ada masalah apa aja dan gimana cara kita menyelesaikan masalah itu. Oke, entah akan ada berapa egg, tapi sepertinya udah mulai normal lagi. Ini egg 3 cuma ya sekitar 2 jam lah ya, atau mungkin kurang. Terus egg 4 ya mudah-mudahan nggak lama lagi juga ya, normal aja 1,5 jam atau maksimal 2 jam lah. Jadi kita nggak terlalu lama dan nggak terlalu bingung juga, mudah-mudahan langsung sampai ke intinya. Soalnya ini menurut gua ya ceritanya sih terlalu berat ya, I don't know, mungkin apa karena bahasa Inggris gua yang kurang, tapi emang gua mending sekalian bahasa Inggris ya, bisa sih dengan bahasa Indonesia, cuman gua sekalian belajar bahasa Inggris lah, terus ngerti-ngerti dikit lah. Tapi menurut gua ceritanya mau di bahasa Indonesia pun emang agak sedikit rumit, soalnya banyak masalah yang bercabang-cabang gitu guys. Jadi ini kesini mah, ini kesini itu ya emang ceritanya menarik sih ya menurut gue. Kalau gue yang yang memainkannya sih nggak bosen ya, at least jadi ceritanya tuh berkembang banyak itu. Jadi kita nggak cuma menikmati satu masalah, tapi ada banyak masalah yang bisa kita telusuri gitu. Jadi ya jadi banyak cerita, menurut gue bagus aja. Jadi gue tetap enjoy aja untuk ngikutin cerita utama dari Genshin Impact ya. Jadi ya sudah, cukup bacotnya, besok kita lanjut lagi. So sampai bertemu besok and have a good day, bye.